What's up, everyone? Back here with another quick review. This is Berserker, published by Boom Studios. This here, if you're watching this video and you haven't heard of this by now, and you're watching a video made by little old me, that'll be a little surprising because this is kind of the big deal at the comic shops right now. At least I think so. So this started out as a Kickstarter campaign, which I backed, but finally issue one came out. I think the thing I backed on Kickstarter is that it'll come out in three fat trade paperbacks, I think. But issue one came out, had to grab it. This is really cool because it's by Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, one of my favorite actors, one of the coolest guys in Hollywood. Of course, he came up with the idea, came up with the story. I think it's being written, definitely the dialogue being written by Matt Kindt. Matt Kindt, very great writer. I've pretty much liked everything I've read by him. He was like the man over at Valiant. You did Ninjak for a long time. Then I really liked his like 2 year run on Exo Manowar. So he's kind of like the Valiant guy to me. Of course, that was before What's Her Face took over uh, as the editor in chief, I think, at Valiant and started running it into the ground. So Matt Kindt is moving on to greater things. I think they originally sought out Donny Cates to write this book with Keanu, but he turned it down. Who knows why? He's pretty busy at Marvel. Uh, Art by Ron Garney. Ron Garney, pretty good pick. For pretty good pick for this art. I'm pretty happy with that. This here is the super cool Mark Brooks cover B. I got the cover B. The cover A is pretty good too. I don't even know what to call this guy. Berserker walking toward you. Very similarly with art by Raphael Grandpa, or however you say his name. I had to get the Mark Brooks. This is like the image that got me really excited. It's the image that they started using to promote the book. So super cool movie poster style, and yeah, this is a pretty fun comic. It's pretty great. Definitely, let's get into it now. Yeah, this is the issue one, so we're finding out about this for the first time. We all were getting excited about this Keanu Reeves project, not even knowing much about it, just that he is someone who lives basically forever, and this guy kicks ass. So opens up with this really cool shot recreating the Keanu Reeves meme of him sitting at the bench or sitting down somewhere at a street corner, just kind of looking down and looking sad. I think that's really funny and really cool. It fits they made it fit the mood of this book right now. Very gloomy. I remember Keanu Reeves being on someone's talk show, and someone asked him about that meme, and it was kind of like what were you doing sitting there? Why are you looking all sad or something like that? And instead of kind of giving the answer you'd expect from a superstar, being like, "Oh, I wasn't sad. It was just kind of the moment," he gave a very human response, and he was just kind of like, "Yeah, life. Sometimes I just get sad, man." And I was like, "Whoa!" So I always remembered that. I thought that was really cool. Keanu Reeves, definitely one of the humble ones in that cesspool. Yeah, Keanu Reeves. I have a huge bias. I really dig Keanu. If you don't like Keanu Reeves, uh, then maybe you won't like this book because he's kind of drawn to look like Keanu Reeves, but still a lot of fun. Then we get started. You know, changes from the cool colors, changes the color palette, so it tells you the setting is now different. Uh, he's in a helicopter. Eyes start glowing, basically blah blah blah, and they're sending him on a mission. He works for the government, and so he's jumping out of this helicopter, looking super cool, and he's ready to kick some ass. And yeah, this guy's covered in gear. He's got lots of guns. He's shooting dudes, getting right to it. Spoiler, everyone. This is a spoiler review. I keep forgetting to say that. Berserker, he must be super strong because he just punched through this guy's face. Eyeballs flying out. It reminded me of a Spy vs. Spy segment from Mad Magazine with his eyeball flying out there. So getting right to the violence. This is definitely a violent comic. It was more violent than I thought. I dig it. It's really cool. I don't like violence in excess. it's still got to be a good story, which it is. It really grabbed me. But this is definitely, I wanted to hit it on home pretty quick that this is definitely the mood of the book. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's pretty much most of this issue. It's just a lot of action. Keanu Reeves, a few steps ahead of his squad, I guess, going into some other country to, I guess they were going to, it was some sort of extraction mission, I think, for crooked, president or something like that. But it's just here to show you that this guy is just here to just maul everyone. He appears to be impervious to bullets, punches that guy's head, running at bullets. He doesn't seem to mind getting shot. He just keeps going, moves very quickly, reads very fast. And right here, this was insane. Got him punching this dude, punches into him, rips out a rib bone, and then stabs another guy in the neck with it. So that was pretty extreme. I was like, wow. So it's pretty simple, but it's really cool looking. I'm like, wow, this is intense. This might be one of the most violent comics I've read, but still really cool, really memorable. Rips this guy's arm off, probably beats him with it. I thought that was going to be the next image. Looks a lot like Keanu Reeves right there, very John Wick looking, especially with his hair at that length and the beard. Super cool. And Ron Garney he's a good artist. He's been in the industry for a long time. Last I saw him, he did the first arc on Marvel's Savage Sword of Conan. I believe that arc was written by Jerry Duggan, and it was really good. And it was also very extreme, and I found it very therapeutic. Same reason why I like reading Hulk comics. I just need to see Conan or Hulk wreck some dudes, and I feel all good and get that out of my system. I like that kind of action sometimes, and this is definitely no shortage of that. Ron Garney's art, it's not the best. It's not, he could have spent a lot more time on a lot of this stuff, but I'm sure he's busy drawing this entire series. So it's not the best, but it is good. It's very competent art. I like Ron Garney. Now we're going to keep on going, grabbing dudes, jumping through windows. It's very, very kinetic, very keeps moving, all this stuff. Right here, he jumps in this guy's Humvee, and he's going to get shot in the back of the head. He smiles right here, so it tells you that this guy does have a sense of humor. And one of the rare moments where he actually waited to do something insane. Ducks backward, gets his nose blown off. But then he takes him out anyway. Grabs his gun, grabs a grenade, all this stuff. Explodes the grenade while holding it up to his body. So he's starting to look more and more torn up. He's got his nose, his hand is all blasted away. His nose just got shot off, but he keeps going. This guy's a tank. And these agents are saying he's peeking. He's on his way to the target. Rams the Humvee right into this guy's airplane and sees the target. He's walking over to him, Terminator style. Looking mean, looking freaky. They try to stop him, say, they want him alive. But I think what they mean by he's peeking is that he's gone overboard. They let him off the leash, and there's no going back now. Once he gets started and starts building a momentum, then he just can't come down from that. And he even sees this image of this old guy. I think we assume later that that's his father. So get very little tidbits of his origin in this, but closer to the end. So he totally doesn't listen. He kills the guy, and I mean he really kills him. Just breaks his face, punches in his chest, rips out his heart, and then he eats it. He takes a bite out of it, and he did it right in front of this kid. He didn't realize the kid was there, but he saw him. So it's like, this guy's insane. This guy's intense. So I was like, whoa, that is freaky stuff. But this guy is clearly a whack job and not in a good place. And he's been alive a long time, and his mind is probably he's just crazy, So he's survived all this craziness. That whole adventure was nuts, and he's not healing like Deadpool or Wolverine. He's just not going to instantaneously heal like that. But he did live through all this. I don't know what the point of this pill is. I guess this pill, helps calm him back down or something. Goes back to this government lab, which I thought was funny. That's even in Tacoma, Washington. Used to hang out there a lot. And so looks like they have to put in a lot of work to heal him. They wash him of all the blood, take out all the bullets, that sort of stuff. They even cut off some of his finger. I'm sure it'll grow back, but who knows what they're doing. The whole time through this comic, he's having this dialogue conversation with someone, and we finally find out who that is. It is this woman, this doctor, who says she's trying to help him. They've been tracking his brain patterns throughout this mission and all these missions, and asks him things about like if he has thoughts of suicide and stuff, and which he doesn't. He this guy Keanu or BRZRKR, whatever his name is, doesn't want to kill himself, but he does want to be able to die. It turns out that is his goal. He's working with the government and lending him his skills, and he doesn't care what they do to him. He's just straight up says it, that she says, "We don't want anything. We don't want anything from you." And he tells her, "Everyone wants something. Make your super army and your clone soldiers for me. I don't care. I just need mortality. Gods are immortal. I'm immortal." She doesn't believe he's a god, but he doesn't know what he is. He doesn't want to die. He just wants to be able to. I would think that, yeah, when you've been alive that long, that you want to be able to die too. Get this nice hunk of dialogue right in here as they're talking. He laughs right here, which I can't say is out of character because I just met this character. But it's when she's saying all this jargon about tracking his significant spikes in his electrolytes on his brain, and he laughs, and she asks, "What's funny?" "Well, you've come a long way." "Since you met me?" "No, since I met the United States. You were using whiskey as painkiller and hacksaws to amputate gunshot wounds when the Revolutionary War started. Now you're looking..." I'll try to do my Keanu voice. "Now you're looking at 3D projections of real-time diagnostics and quantum evaluations of my antigens and serums. Whoa." And so I thought that was a nice touch. So she's pretty much trying to tell him that there was a moment that they never seen before where they were tracking his brains. Something happened. He saw something that made his brain spike. It's very unusual. And it jumps back to that time when that kid totally saw him take a bite out of that guy's friggin' heart like a friggin' burger. And then a soldier shoots that kid in the head and says, "No witnesses." And that triggered a memory, I think, with this guy. Give him another pill, give him a shot. I don't know what that's for. But then we go back into his memory. He said he's remembering when he was born. I guess he said earlier that he remembers everything. Then I don't know if he does, if he's just now remembering like his parents way back when. I don't know what the significance of that pill is. Then final page, this double page spread right here, going all the way back. I remember 80,000 years ago when I was born. That's weird. If I didn't read things like that 80,000 years ago, I didn't read that in a very, wacky, fictitious comic book, then I wouldn't accept it. But I do accept that in the world of wacky fantasy. So that was it. Yeah, that was it. I really just, chugging along through. There was, I counted the pages. That was 43 story pages, for a book that costed $4.99. That is so worth it, even if it doesn't take long to read through. Really entertaining stuff. Really hooks you. You want to know more. Is it a perfect comic? No, absolutely not. Very far from it. Because it was... But it definitely did its job. It did its job in showing you that this is brutal stuff. This is a violent guy, and he's here to wreck some dudes and go berserk. And the government, they're after something from him too, and he just wants to be immortal. And along the way, he's probably going to remember things about his past. And so that being said, it got the job done with an issue number 1 for the series. So it was very successful to me. It was successful on the stands. It was got pre-ordered a lot. I think they're saying that it is the highest selling comic in like 6 years or something like that since Marvel's Star Wars issue 1 came out, uh, like 6 years ago. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good for an indie book, not a Marvel or a DC book. Just I really like what they're doing here. I really support things like this that that take comics in a bold direction. They do things that the mainstream comic industry, Marvel and DC, don't do, and I think it's just a cool idea. Not much to it. There's a lot of comic book pros who are being like, "Oh, this is so whack. Why can't Keanu Reeves? Why does he have to start a Kickstarter with Boom Studios to publish his comic? Why he's rich. He can just do it himself." So well, because it's a business. He's in the business of making money, and this comic book made a lot of money. So good job. And I think there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, you're buying this crowdfunded comic that didn't need to be crowdfunded. That takes money away from our projects." It's like, no, no one's gonna buy your crap. This is actually cool. That's why it sold well. Look at me. I'm a comic book fan and I'm a Keanu Reeves fan. Put two and two together, and if it looks cool like this, I'm gonna get it. No big deal. And a lot of other people share the same mentality since it did so well. So anyway, another thing is that this thing is kind of like it's kind of a little like, yeah, I could definitely see this being tapped to turn into a movie. Keanu Reeves, he's an actor that puts butts in seats, so kind of only a matter of time. Is he only making this comic book to give himself like an excuse to make a action movie out of someday? I don't think so. I think he really does want to make a good I don't think he goes and buys comics every month. He probably did when he was younger. He's into comics. He likes them. He appreciates them. He's made that very clear in his promoting of this book, and that's enough. That's cool. I think that's why this story was so kind of simple, and also you can tell it came from the mind of an actor who loves action movies, and but it was still really good. I really liked it. It's not like how I make fun of a ton of comics, especially indie books that come out, and it's so painfully obvious that it's just being made and just being produced to one day turn into a Netflix show. I think that's what they straight up say at Image and some other places. It's like, yeah, we're just here to pretty much pitch ideas for a Netflix show. That's bad because it's always something lame. And I'm pretty critical of comics that don't have superheroes and superheroics in them, superpowers. This was still in my wheelhouse. This is good stuff. It doesn't feel like those dumb Netflix bait comics. Uh, I would dig this as a movie someday. I definitely watch that. But yeah, super cool. If you're a Keanu Reeves fan, you'll like it. If you're just a fan of good content, you'll like this book. Yeah, I'm giving this a really great review. I really, really recommend this. I feel like I'm reading something special when I'm reading this, and I want to be a part of it. I definitely want to see where this is going. I want it to be successful because I want comics and writers and artists to up their game and do cool things like this. No, you don't necessarily need a Hollywood star to make your book a success. There's been lots of successful books without the help of Keanu Reeves, but I just think this is cool. There's no other way to put it. So I really recommend this. Go out, go to your comic shop. Yeah, buy this issue 1. Well worth it for $5. And yeah, you get the satisfying feeling that you just read something really cool. Especially if you're a guy. Let's be honest. If you're a guy, you're gonna love this. This is a very manly book. Super high testosterone. Yeah, this guy went full alpha male, and this guy's just wrecking dudes. So it's one of those things that's like you're gonna like this for your guy. This is gonna be cool. So thanks for watching. Bye.